So atmospheric pressure and its measurement. So we all know that atmosphere is an envelope of gases, and gases also have mass, isn't it? So if you take an empty balloon and if you take an inflated balloon, so the inflated balloon will be heavier than the empty balloon. So this shows that the atmosphere, which is a bundle of gases, it's an envelope of gases. And since it's an envelope of gases, it also has mass. So anything which has mass will also have thrust, will also have weight. Any object which has mass will also have weight. So the thrust exerted per unit area on the Earth's surface due to the column of our air, due to the column of the air, is called atmospheric pressure on Earth's surface. So just imagine a column of air above you. So that column of air, you must have studied in geography up to which layer you have the air. In atmosphere, up to which layer you have air. Have you studied stratosphere and all this?
Yes, ma'am.
Troposphere, stratosphere. So up to which layer you have the air, thick layer of air? Up to how many kilometers? Which layer has the air, stratosphere or troposphere?
Troposphere.
So troposphere extends up to how many kilometers?
From 12 to 18 kilometers.
12 to 18 kilometers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that contains like 75% of the total mass of the atmosphere, right? 75% of the mass of the atmosphere is in troposphere. Yeah, it extends up to 18 kilometers. And so it's like 75% of the atmospheric air is condensed. It's there in the troposphere. So the atmospheric pressure, so this layer, just imagine 18 kilometers long column of air above you. So it will have definitely a considerable amount of mass. And so it will have a considerable amount of weight, right? So if you can calculate that, the pressure exerted on the Earth's surface is equivalent to 10 raised to power 5 Pascal. That is 10 raised to the power 5 Newton per meter square, and it's a very huge pressure. 10 raised to power 5 Newton per meter square is a very huge pressure. Okay, so, but we are sitting, we are doing our work. Do you feel that pressure? No.
No.
So can you think why we don't feel that pressure? इतना बड़ा बोझ हमारे ऊपर, इतना प्रेशर हमारे ऊपर, एक 1 न्यूटन प्रेशर आपके ऊपर डाला तो you feel it, but why you are not feeling this atmospheric pressure?
Ma'am, because the pressure which is exerted from the sky and the pressure which we exert, they create an equal amount. So because of that, it balances and we do not feel it.
Good. So which pressure we are exerting from our body?
Ma'am.
Yes, Rudra.
Ma'am, our blood vessels exert pressure.
Very good. And also the pressure exerted by your chest cavity. Air filled inside the chest cavity. Yes. And the blood pressure. So they counteract that atmospheric pressure. उसकी वजह से हम लोग वो pressure बर्दाश्त कर लेते हैं, and we are not aware of that pressure is acting on us. Okay, but if you go to high altitudes, you must have, if ever you have visited, you must have seen many people, they experience nose bleeding at high altitude. So why do you experience nose bleeding?
Ma'am,
pressure. Ma'am, can I say?
Yeah.
Ma'am, because due to high altitude, the body temperature falls down.
Pressure.
The pressure falls down, due to which the nose bleed.
Ma'am.
Which pressure falls down? Yes, Rudra.
Ma'am, can I say?
Yes, Rudra.
Ma'am, inside our body there is high pressure and
Ah,
low pressure high on high altitudes. That's
yes,
why.
as we go high or at the higher altitude, the air becomes thin. And so the air pressure decreases. And when the air pressure decreases and inside our body, the pressure is maintained. So that pressure, because of that, what happens? The small capillaries cannot withstand and then they break. And so the blood starts oozing out. So that is why we have the nose bleeding. Many of them, those who cannot withstand, they experience this nose bleeding. So the atmospheric pressure is quite prominent and you can make out when you go to higher altitudes. Okay. And then even in high altitudes, you see that there is a leakage in the pen. If you take a fountain pen, so the fountain pen starts leaking. Why? Because there is a difference in the pressure. And always the fluids flow from high pressure to low pressure. Fluids always flow from high pressure to low pressure. Is this part clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so atmosphere, because it contains gases, gases have mass. Because of the mass, they have weight. And because of this weight, they exert atmospheric pressure, which is equivalent to 10 raised to power 5 Pascal, that is 10 raised to power 5 Newton per meter square. Clear?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Now, this we already discussed that we do not feel this high pressure because of blood pressure, the air pressure in the chest cavity, balance it. At high altitude, some people experience nose bleeding as the atmospheric pressure becomes less due to low density of air and less height of air column. And therefore, the blood pressure exceeds the atmospheric pressure, thereby bursting the capillaries. This we discussed.
Ma'am,
Yes.
what is the meaning of chest cavity?
Lungs, where are the lungs? Lungs are in the chest cavity. Above the diaphragm, the entire thing is the chest cavity. Rib cage ke andar ka cavity is the chest cavity. Inside the rib cage, there is a cavity that is chest cavity. Below the diaphragm is abdomen. Above the diaphragm is the chest cavity. Okay.
Understood.
Okay. Now, demonstration of atmospheric pressure. This experiment is very simple and I'll be sharing you with the link. And so you can watch it because since I'm putting it on the YouTube, I cannot play it. So now this is an experiment where you can experience air pressure. So what we do is that take a can. You can do it at home also. So if you have that can of cold drink can, small cold drink can. So you take that can and put little water in it, very little amount of water, and then you heat it. So if when the steam starts coming, you just close the mouth of the can with a paper and put this can in cold water. Immediately the can will get crushed, collapse. So this is why, because when we had put water in the can and we started heating, then because of the water, the steam is produced. And because of the steam, the air goes out of the can and it is filled with the steam. Now, when you close the lid and you put cold water over it, then the entire steam condenses back into water. And so there is no air inside. And because of that, the atmospheric pressure pushes the can and then crushes it. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that is the crushing can experiment to show that the atmospheric pressure is quite prominent. Atmospheric pressure is quite prominent, and this is the experiment. The crushing can experiment explains us the impact of atmospheric pressure. So this is the crushing can experiment which I was saying. But if I play, then you won't be able to see the video. So I don't want to play now. I'll just copy and send you the link so you can do it. So now some common concepts of atmospheric pressure. So sucking a drink from a straw, filling a syringe with the liquid, filling of ink pen into the fountain pen, action of rubber suckers, action of siphon system, and taking out oil from the sealed oil can. So these are all impacts of air pressure. So the consequences of air pressure, number one, sucking a drink from the straw. Now, when you put a straw inside a liquid, you suck in the air. When you suck in the air pressure inside the straw decreases, whereas the atmospheric pressure is same. So atmospheric pressure becomes more than the air pressure inside the straw, and so the air pressure forces the liquid into the straw. आपको बात समझ में आई? क्या कर रहे हैं हम जैसे एयर सक कर रहे हैं, तो एयर सक किया तो लो प्रेशर क्रिएट हो गया स्ट्रॉ में. And because there's a low pressure in the straw and high pressure, the atmospheric pressure is comparatively high, the atmospheric pressure forces the liquid into the straw. जानवी समझ में आई बच्चा?
Yes, ma'am.
Rudra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can I move to the next
Yes,
one?
ma'am.
All these give reasons are important. Okay, I'll be sharing with you the PDF, but still they are important. Okay, and now these PDFs, I hope you are not sharing with anybody else's.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Amongst your friends and all, don't share. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, some common consequences of atmospheric pressure. So now filling the syringe with liquid. So when the plunger in the syringe is pulled out, same mechanism है, हमने plunger को pull किया तो अंदर का volume increase हो गया. अगर volume increase हो गया तो अंदर का pressure decrease हो गया. अंदर का pressure decrease हो गया तो needle में से liquid, जो भी liquid है वो अंदर घुस जाएगा syringe के अंदर. So this is the same thing. So when the plunger of the syringe is pulled out, the pressure in the syringe decreases, the liquid rushes into it due to the atmospheric pressure being more than the pressure inside. Okay, same mechanism. Same thing, filling of the ink in the fountain pen. Again, it is the same thing. So, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? We are putting putting the pressure due to the piston on the syringe. So, अंदर syringe में pressure ज़्यादा है, वो bottle में pressure कम है, so the air liquid goes inside. Or if you are pulling out the liquid, वही करेंगे, plunger को pull करेंगे, so the liquid comes into the syringe. और वो वाले fountain pen होते थे, अभी तो मुझे नहीं पता. When we used to study, we used to have the fountain pen जिसमें एक soft part होता था, हम उसको press करते थे तो अंदर squeeze हो जाता था. And then उसको हम ink bottle में डालते थे, धीरे धीरे release करते थे, तो वो ink पूरी अंदर चली जाती थी. But the thing was same. So when you press it, the air inside the tube is forced out, so the atmospheric pressure is more than the internal pressure, and so the liquid rises into the tube. This rubber sucker is the most important thing because the teachers it's a favorite for teachers. They often ask you what is the mechanism in the rubber sucker. So आप लोगों ने rubber sucker देखा होगा ना, ये बहुत सारे stores में भी लगा रहता है, कांच के दरवाजे पे कुछ भी hang करने के लिए they put it. So even if you have a glass table, so glass top को wooden table या stand पे fix करने के लिए you use this rubber sucker so that the table doesn't go off, isn't it? So this rubber sucker क्या है? It's made up of soft rubber. So when you squeeze against the plain surface, then what happens? The air inside the sucker is forced out. It is removed. And a vacuum is created. And so the atmospheric pressure holds the sucker against the wall. So you see this blue part. So this is the blue part, this is the rubber sucker. So this rubber sucker is squeezed. It's squeezed against the wall. But the thing is that this wall should be very smooth. एक जरा भी रफ नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर रफ हुआ तो क्या होगा? एयर गैप हो जाएगा. एयर गैप हुआ तो वहां से एयर घुस जाएगा. सो अंदर एयर घुस जाएगी तो इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल प्रेशर विल बी सेम एंड सो द रबर सकर विल फॉल ऑफ. So it is always squeezed against a very, very smooth surface. So because of that smooth surface, क्या होता है? The air is forced out, and so this atmospheric air, it puts the pressure on the rubber sucker. This diagram is also very, very important. Please practice this diagram.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, if the surface is not smooth, then it will not stick to wall, na?
No, it will come out in some time. जैसे धीरे धीरे एयर सीपेज होगा, सो अंदर एयर प्रेशर हो गया, तो अंदर एयर प्रेशर तो बाहर का एयर प्रेशर काउंटर एक्ट कर देगा, एंड सो इट विल फॉल ऑफ.
Okay, ma'am.
ओके. साइफन सिस्टम. अब साइफन सिस्टम क्या होता है कि एक बेंच ट्यूब होती है. So there is a bench tube. So we always know that the fluids flow from a high pressure to low pressure, right? From a higher gradient to lower gradient.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
so we have one container here, and it contains fluid, and यहाँ पे एक bench tube लगा दें, और bench tube में से थोड़ा सा हवा suck कर लेते हैं पहले. जैसे हवा suck करते हैं ना, so क्या होता है? This liquid starts filling into the tube, and then under the impact of gravity, the liquid continues to flow. Okay, so what do we do in the action of it's a bench tube is used. So this flow is maintained. Once it starts flowing, then that flow is maintained due to gravity, because it is at a higher gradient and the container is at the lower gradient. And so it keeps on flowing. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you please explain it again?
Up पढ़ो तो, can you read out what I have
Yeah.
written?
I am
Ashley?
reading on.
Yeah, please read out.
A bent tube is inserted in a container placed above the
Trough.
through in a trough, in which liquid has to be filled. Air is sucked out of the thin vent tube due to the low pressure which is created in the siphon. Liquid from the top container starts flowing down in ATM.
Down due to the low atmosphere, due to the atmosphere. नहीं, यहाँ पे हमको एक change करना पड़ेगा. So the liquid created in the siphon, liquid from the top container starts flowing down as the atmospheric pressure
becomes low.
Atmospheric pressure is higher.
Higher than the internal pressure.
Atmospheric pressure is higher than the pressure in the tube. This flow continues. This continues. The liquid continues to flow. The liquid continues to flow. The liquid also continues to flow. Also continues to flow due to the gravity. So this is at high. See, liquid flows from high level to low level, right?
Yes, ma'am.
This is at high level, this is at low level. But to initiate the flow, what we do is that from this siphon, उसपे हम मुंह से ना air suck कर लेते हैं. So there is a low pressure. So liquid starts getting into this. And so when the liquid flows in it, the flow continues due to that gravity also.
Okay, ma'am.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Understood.
Now, taking out oil from a sealed can. So if you have to take out the oil from a sealed can, if you make only one hole, so थोड़ा देर oil pour करना पड़ेगा, फिर can को फिर से oil pour करना पड़ेगा, फिर से straighten करना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि क्या होता है जब oil बाहर निकलता है, oil के साथ air भी inside the can बाहर निकल जाता है, so inside pressure becomes low. And so outside pressure is high, so the oil stops flowing. But अगर हमने वहां पे दो होल किया, एक बड़ा hole to pour out the liquid and a small hole through which the air can get in. So क्या होता है, छोटे होल से एयर अंदर जाती रहती है और वो अंदर जो एयर जाती है वो अंदर की लिक्विड को बाहर पुश करती है. Understood? So if we have to take out oil from a sealed can, if we have to take out oil from the sealed can, in order to pour oil from a sealed can, we make two holes. A big hole for oil to flow out and a small hole for air to enter. The air enters into the can and pushes the oil out. Understood?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, but we don't have to make hole in water bottle. Why?
Water bottle एक तो पहली बात छोटी होती है.
Ma'am,
Okay?
but water bottle is also sealed.
Water bottle छोटी होती है, ठीक है? Okay, and then when you flow, when you pour water in your mouth, आप आधा ही bottle का आप use करते हो, right? Like the mouth of the bottle आप पूरा ऊपर से ऐसे उल्टा नहीं करते हो ना?
हाँ नहीं करते.
नहीं ना। और आपने देखा है जिसमें जिसमें ना पाइप लगी होती है जिसमें आप सक करते हो, तो उस टाइप के वाटर बॉटल में एक छोटा छेद रहता है
हाँ
ताकि वो एयर अंदर जाएगी, तब आप उधर से सक करोगे, नहीं तो वो स्क्वीज हो जाएगी, फिर आप सक नहीं कर सकोगे ना।
यस मैम।
कैन में देखोगे आप, कैन में जो कोल्ड ड्रिंक का कैन होता है उसका माउथ छोटा होता है ना। एंड सब जैसे आप पूरा डालते तो पूरा का पूरा कोल्ड ड्रिंक आपके मुंह में नहीं आएगा। आप
हाँ
एक बार लोगे, फिर आप वापस स्ट्रेट करोगे, फिर लोगे, फिर स्ट्रेट करोगे कैन को। सो द मोमेंट यू स्ट्रेटन द कैन, एयर रशेस इनटू इट।
ओके मैम।
ओके, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस 15 लीटर कैन होता है ना, बड़े बड़े। सो उससे हम जब ऑयल पोर कर रहे होते हैं तो वो स्मूथ फ्लो नहीं होगा, यू हैव टू पोर एंड देन यू हैव टू स्ट्रेटन इट। पानी भी हम पूरा का पूरा एक साथ मुंह में नहीं डालते ना।
मैम पर हम वो
आप एक काम करना, एक वाटर बॉटल लेना, ठीक है, वो अपना ये बिस्लरी बॉटल, उसको पूरा फिल करना, उसको फिल करके आप पूरा उल्टा कर दो,
ओके मैम।
एकदम उल्टा करके, तो आप देखोगे कि पानी पूरा ऐसे एकदम फ्लो इतना अच्छे से नहीं आएगा अगर आपने स्क्वीज नहीं किया। नहीं तो क्या होगा, एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर के स्क्वीज करने से भी पानी निकल जाता है।
हाँ
स्क्वीज बॉटल होगा तो वो स्क्वीज करोगे तो पानी निकल जाएगा, क्योंकि वी आर स्क्वीजिंग इट ना, तो वी आर रिड्यूसिंग इनसाइड प्रेशर, वी आर इंक्रीजिंग द इनसाइड प्रेशर, वॉल्यूम कम कर दिया।
यस मैम।
सो दैट इज वाई। बट हम जब ऑयल कैन की बात करते हैं, बड़ा, उसमें ऑयल कैन में क्या होता है कि विस्कोसिटी फोर्स भी थोड़ा वाटर से ज्यादा होता है उसमें, और उसमें अगर हमने आप दो छेद नहीं किया ना, तो थोड़ा निकालोगे तेल, फिर आपको स्ट्रेट करना पड़ेगा, फिर निकालोगे, फिर स्ट्रेट करना पड़ेगा। आप कंटिन्यूअसली उसका कंटिन्यूअस फ्लो नहीं कर सकते।
ओके मैम।
ओके, नाउ मेजरमेंट ऑफ एयर प्रेशर जो हमारे पोर्शन में नहीं है, विल जस्ट टच इट एंड गो। आपको बताया क्या पोर्शन में कैंसिलेशन?
नहीं मैम।
अयान,
Yes, ma'am.
कैंसिलेशंस बताए?
Ma'am, sir didn't show, but sir told there are some cancellations.
So you didn't start with the chapter till now?
Ma'am, we started with the A part.
Acha. Okay, so the measurement of air pressure is mostly not there. If it is there, I will teach you. But we will do just touch and go this. We should know, we should have an idea. How do we measure air pressure? So we measure air pressure with the help of a barometer. It's an instrument which used to measure the atmospheric pressure. So the following three types of barometers are there: simple barometer, 14th barometer, aneroid barometer. 3 barometers होते हैं. जो simple barometer है, ये simple barometer है. So simple barometer, it was designed by Torseley, और उसपे हम एक 100 centimeter long tube लेते, very thin tube, very thin bore, और उसपे हम लोग पूरा mercury fill कर देते, और एक छोटा reservoir लेते हैं कप, उसमें भी पूरा mercury fill कर देते, और ये thin tube को जो 1 मीटर लॉन्ग है उसको हम इस reservoir पे उल्टा कर देते हैं। तो जब हम उल्टा करते हैं, सो द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर के हिसाब से अ कॉलम ऑफ मर्क्यूरी स्टेज इनसाइड द ट्यूब, बाकी का मर्क्यूरी नीचे आ जाता है. सो this column of the mercury is 76 centimeter of column that stays inside the tube. So this is the simple barometer, and simple barometer में the liquid used is mercury. Now this barometer we do not use. देखो आप ये barometer, is it convenient to carry?
नो मैम।
नो
No.
मैम।
और दूसरा है ये पूरा ओपन है, एटमॉस्फेयर ओपन है, तो वहां पे कोई भी डस्ट भी घुस जाएगी तो मर्क्यूरी विल गेट कंटामिनेटेड. सो व्हेन द मर्क्यूरी गेट्स कंटामिनेटेड, उसकी डेंसिटी चेंज हो जाएगी, और डेंसिटी चेंज होगी तो एयर कॉलम की मर्क्यूरी कॉलम की डेंसिटी चेंज हो जाएगी, एंड सो द मर्क्यूरी कॉलम विल नॉट गिव यू एक्यूरेट प्रेशर, है ना. So this is obliterate now. This is given up because this is not convenient. ओके, सो ये अब हम लोग यूज नहीं करते. तो साइंटिस्ट ने उसको हटाने के लिए ना, फिर वो लोगों ने एक दूसरा बैरोमीटर यूज किया, दैट इज 14th बैरोमीटर. लेकिन अब इसमें एक ये क्वेश्चन भी पूछ लेते हैं कि advantages of mercury used in liquid in the barometric liquid as a barometric liquid. हम mercury क्यों use करते हैं? क्योंकि density of mercury is maximum amongst the liquid. So जब density ज्यादा होगा, for same amount of pressure, the height of the mercury column will be less. अगर हम water लेंगे ना उस जगह पे, तो हमको 10 मीटर long tube लेना पड़ेगा, because density of water is 1 compared to density of mercury. This is 13.6. So 13.6 और 1, तो हमको 13.6 लंबा times long आपको वाटर आपको ट्यूब लेनी पड़ेगी. यहाँ पे हम 76 सेंटीमीटर ट्यूब ले रहे हैं, सो 76 इंटू 13.6 इतना लंबा ट्यूब लेना पड़ेगा, जो पॉसिबल नहीं है. आप उसको कैसे खड़ा करोगे? सो मर्क्यूरी का एडवांटेज है क्योंकि इट हैज हाई डेंसिटी. एंड सेकेंड जो है, जो वेपर प्रेशर है मर्क्यूरी का वो बहुत कम है. सो उसकी वजह से लिक्विड प्रेशर ऊपर, लिक्विड का जो ट्यूब में जो लिक्विड हाइट है वो दबती नहीं है, तो वो नीचे नहीं जाती है. एंड मर्क्यूरी डज नॉट स्टिक टू द ग्लास. मर्क्यूरी शाइनी एंड ओपेक, सो यू कैन इजिली सी द रीडिंग कि कहां तक है मर्क्यूरी, एंड इट इज इजिली ऑब्टेन्ड इन प्योर स्टेट. सो दीज आर द रीजंस. मोस्टली इट इज नॉट देयर इन द क्वेश्चन, बट जस्ट फॉर योर नॉलेज. Why we cannot use water? Number one, इसका डेंसिटी लो है, तो बहुत लंबा बैरोमेट्रिक हाइट चाहिएगा. सेकेंड, वाटर बहुत जल्दी वेपराइज हो जाएगा, तो वेपराइज होके वो जो एम्प्टी स्पेस है ना ट्यूब का, वहां पे वाटर वेपर आ जाएगा. वाटर वेपर से प्रेशर डाले, वाटर वेपर प्रेशर डालेगा वाटर कॉलम पे, तो वाटर कॉलम डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. सो आपको एक्यूरेट रीडिंग नहीं मिलेगी. एंड वाटर स्टिक्स टू द ग्लास, एंड वाटर इज ट्रांसपेरेंट, सो आपको जल्दी से रीडिंग पढ़ना भी मुश्किल हो जाएगा.
Ma'am, but
Yes.
if we use water and it vapors, then it may also break the glass, because so much water vapor cannot be also resisted by the glass, right?
Yes, it will, the glass को कभी ना clarity नहीं रहेगा. It will just form that glass clarity.
Ma'am,
हाँ,
ma'am, water does not stick to glass.
it sticks. आप पानी डालो टेबल पे, पसर जाएगा पानी पूरा. आप टेस्ट ट्यूब में पानी डालते हो, पानी उस पे चिपका रहता है टेस्ट ट्यूब पे,
Yes, ma'am.
इट स्टिक्स. आप मर्क्यूरी डालोगे ना, पूरा का पूरा मर्क्यूरी एक साथ बाहर आ जाता है, बल्ब बन जाता है मर्क्यूरी का, एक बॉल बन जाएगी मर्क्यूरी की. Mercury doesn't stick to the glass. This we have studied ना उसमें 8th standard में कि adhesive force and cohesive force. So cohesive force जो mercury particles का जो force है वो ज्यादा है, and mercury glass particle का force जो है वो कम है. That is the adhesive force. So इसी वजह से mercury आपस में stick करती है. And water का क्या है? Water का cohesive force कम है, but water glass का adhesive force ज्यादा है. तो उसकी वजह से क्या होगा? Water sticks to the glass.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so advantages मैंने आपको बता दिया, and you can leisurely go through. ये नया बैरोमीटर उन्होंने डिजाइन किया, 14th बैरोमीटर. तो इन्होंने क्या किया, उसमें एक केस भी लगा दिया, एक वर्नियर स्केल भी लगा दिया to get an accurate reading and all this. And फिर ivory glass, उसको भी लेदर कप को, मंजू, so वो कप को भी कवर कर दिया. सो कप को भी कवर कर दिया ताकि उसमें डस्ट नहीं जाए. बट स्टिल इट वाज नॉट वेरी कन्वीनियंट टू कैरी. स्टिल द लेंथ इज सो बिग. Okay, so it was not convenient to carry, and so they again they do not use this one. अब हमारे पास क्या आ गया, एक बहुत सिंपल सा बैरोमीटर आ गया. दिस इज एनारॉइड बैरोमीटर. यहाँ पे कोई लिक्विड यूज नहीं होता. इसको कैरी करने में, पॉकेट में भी कैरी कर सकते हो, छोटा सा इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है. सो नो यू लिक्विड, लाइट, इजीली पोर्टेबल, एंड देन इट इज कैलिब्रेटेड इन द टू रीड द एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर. आपको सेंटीमीटर में नहीं होगा, आपको डायरेक्ट एटमॉस्फेरिक स्केल मिलेगा. एंड सो इट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर वेदर फोरकास्टिंग, एंड इट इज ऑल्सो यूज्ड एज एन अल्टीमीटर to measure the height. So this is important. This is called aneroid barometer. और ये aneroid barometer में ये जो है एक leather casing होता है. This is a leather casing. And leather casing के ऊपर जैसे ही हवा का pressure आता है, so this rod comes down. So when this rod comes down, तो यहाँ पे ये जो wheel है, this wheel starts moving. The wheel will also come down, the wheel starts moving. So your pointer moves. So this is how you get it. So this is a very simple and very convenient way. Now, impact of change in atmospheric pressure. So decrease in air column, that causes linear decrease in atmospheric pressure. This is again important. The decrease in the height of air column causes linear decrease in atmospheric pressure. Therefore, when we go at a higher altitude, the atmospheric pressure decreases because of the decrease in the height of the air column. दूसरा क्या होगा? As we go high, the density of the air also changes. Okay, so the density of the air changes. So when the density of the air changes, that also causes a decrease in atmospheric pressure, and that is not linear, and that is non-linear decrease. Decrease due to the fall down in the density is the non-linear decrease. Now, impact, sudden change in the weather. How do they do the weather forecasting? So when there is a sudden fall in the barometric height, that shows that a cyclone or the storm is coming. Sudden fall, मतलब आपका low pressure area बन गया, आपका town low pressure area बन गया और पूरा surrounding में high pressure है, तो air always flows from a high pressure to low pressure, and so चारों तरफ से हवा अंदर की तरफ आएगी with a great speed, and so it is storm or cyclone. Now, when there is a gradual fall in the barometric height, it's a possibility of rain as moisture gradually increases. And when there is a rise in the barometric height, increase in the barometric height, so that is the expecting extremely dry weather. And when there is a sudden rise, extremely dry weather, and when there is no change, slow rise, then gradual dry weather, and extreme rise, sudden rise, extremely dry weather. And when there is no abrupt change, there is no change in the weather. This is very important part, you know. Why? Because they ask you, दो तो जरूर पूछेंगे, हर exam में पूछेंगे, what is the impact? What happens if there is a sudden fall in the barometric height? What happens when there is a sudden rise in the barometric height? This is the type of question they ask you. Now, this is an altimeter. An altimeter is again a type of aneroid barometer, but इसमें जो ऊपर जो है ना, देखो यहाँ पे दो रीडिंग है, ऊपर की रीडिंग है in meters and lower की जो रीडिंग है, that is in the atmospheric pressure. So you can measure the height of the place also, and you can measure the atmospheric pressure also. So such is called altimeter. Altimeter. So altimeter uses a barometer to measure the atmospheric pressure at places for weather forecasting, as an altimeter to measure the height. Variation of the atmospheric pressure, so sudden decrease in the height of the air column, so that causes linear decrease in the atmospheric pressure, and decrease in the density of the air column causes non-linear decrease in the air pressure. दो तरह का decrease है, linear and non-linear. So that is it. Everything clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll share this PDF. So quickly, I'll give you 15 minutes ka break. Quickly, we are meeting at 12 o'clock. So quickly go through the whatever we did, and then also take 2-3 minutes ka break, and then I'll do the first. I will do the numericals. अगर इसका कुछ भी है तो वो करेंगे. वैसे इसका numericals is not there in the question. Numericals is not there in the question. So then I will start with the chemistry, water. Okay.